Alright, section 5.2, proportions. Mr. Wahlberg here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, whenever you're watching this. Hope things are going well. Start proportions. This proportions is an equation stating that two ratios are equivalent. Now, last section we should be pretty familiar what a ratio is now. 4 to 1, 12 to x. Obviously x is unknown in this one. We're going to learn how to solve these in time, but understand what we're looking at here. A ratio of 4 to 1, they're saying that that is equal a ratio of 12 to x, whatever x is. It also says if two quantities form a proportion, then they are what's called proportional. It's just stating the same thing. This might be the better example to look at here. 3 to 5 is my ratio. If I have 3 cookies to 5 crackers, well, what if I had more? If I want to say it's the same proportion, it's the same ratio, I would have to have 21 cookies and 35 crackers. It would be these two are equal to each other to make them proportional. Basically, if you reduced this fraction right here, you would get 3/5, and that's what makes something proportional. If you're not following that, keep following along, and hopefully it makes sense in time. Alright, I have two ratios here, and I want to know if they form a proportion. 6 over 4, 6 to 4, and I want to know if that is equal to 8 over 12. Well, easiest way to look at this is 4 and 12 here. 4 times 3 gets me 12. Well, 3 times 6 here does not get me 8, so they are definitely not proportional. You basically have to determine are the two fractions equivalent to each other? Can you reduce one to make the other? And obviously here's a great example of where you can't. Alright, let's look at a proportional story problem. You swim your first 4 laps in 2.4 minutes. You complete 16 laps in 12 minutes. Is the number of laps proportional to your time? Well, we have to make a laps to time ratio, 4 laps per 2.4 minutes. You can make these equivalent, set them up the way I've been doing. You also can just reduce 16 laps per 12 minutes. And just reduce these as well. And that's another way you could do it. I personally am more of a fan of doing this, but you can do it either way. I can real quick look at this, and I know they're not proportional. Let me get rid of this real quick. Sorry. When I get it at this point, I'm going to just see that 4 times 4 gets me 16, and obviously 2.4 times 4 does not get me 12, so they are not, once again, not proportional. This would have to be a 3 to make this proportional. As I was saying, you can reduce as well. 16 twelfths, if I reduce that by 4, is 4/3, and obviously 4/3 does not equal 4 over 24, so they're definitely, in this case, not proportional. Alright, let's do another example to see if we can actually find two fractions that are proportional with each other. It says tell whether 10/18 and 45 over 81 form a proportion. Well, 10 over 18, why don't we do the reducing this time just to do something different. By 10 is 5, and by 2 is 5, and by 2 is 9. If I reduce 45 over 81, by 9 is 5, and by 9 is 9. So 5/9 and 5/9 are proportions. They are equal, so then yes, this is proportional with each other. Just another good example of a way you can determine if something is proportional. Alright, one last quick example. You run the first 3 laps around the gym in 1.5 minutes. You complete 24 laps in 12 minutes. Is the number of laps proportional to your time? 3 laps over 1.5. If I go ahead and reduce that by 1.5, that would be 2 over 1. And 24 over 12 is going to be the same thing. By 12 is 2, and by 12 is 1. So, yes, they are proportional to each other. Again, you could do that by reducing, or you can just take them and make them equal to each other and see if they get to the same spot. You can do it either way. It doesn't really matter to me. Figure out what works best for you. 24 over 12. In this case, 3 times 8 gets me 24, and 1.5 times 8 gets me 12. So yes, they are proportional to each other. Hope you followed along. I tried to do a number of different examples. We'll try some more in class when I see you. Have a good night.